All right. Welcome to Gilbert. It's all about the media podcast. I'm here with my friend Jesus, and we're gonna continue the theme about like sub-genre horror films. And Jesus, if you remember from the last episode, picked political horror. Now, just to keep in mind, yes, we are in that time of the every 4 years, 8 years, whatever. But we're specifically talking about the movies. Like everyone's got their own political opinions about certain people. We're just talking about the movies because, like the politics that's happening within our world today, it's out of the podcast basically. Like him and I, we have our own political opinions about certain candidates and stuff, but we keep that out of the podcast. So if you want to know where my stance is, people are just gonna have to reach me like in my own personal life. But within the podcast, politics technically stays out of it. But for this episode, we're specifically talking about horror films that have like a little bit of political stuff into it. And I've never been a huge fan of horror films that have like a social commentary or political commentary on stuff. Sometimes I just rather have a film just be a film. That's just how I prefer it. But yes, I understand certain things that's within each film, like what it's trying to represent and stuff like that. But other than that, we're just gonna be talking about movies. That's pretty much it. But Jesus, since you picked the subgenre, I guess you could talk about your movie.
Yeah. The movie I chose for our genre to start us off. I'm sure a lot of people notice it and know it's pretty much a classic. I mean, if people's grandparents or even their own parents were able to watch television back in the day, I mean, it used to be on during this time. At least sometimes in the 31st. It's basically public domain at this point, and it's a very classical film. It helped rejuvenate what used to be a dead genre. I mean, yeah, quote unquote dead genre, right? Ironically, but the movie is Night of the Living Dead, the original George Romero classic from 1968. So like, I mean, it's pretty no dead brainer that I'm sorry, I'm gonna say a bunch of these little jokes here and there, so unfortunately get ready for cringe. But
You're good. You're good.
so like the point of the story is everyone knows the whole original film. I mean, zombies are out to basically invade our world and are trying to do whatever it takes for them to survive. And well, the people that are surviving are the ones that are meant to pick up the pieces. Of course, this is the very beginning, so like the world isn't completely like that has no idea what's happening. It's only a small town that at least Romero gave us a small town to view what's going on. So what I wanted to bring about, since this is the political genre that we're talking about, well, it's again the original. I'm gonna go between the lines of behind the scenes, but also within the film. So I guess Romero loves to incorporate so many political, social, or economic themes in his films. I mean, this isn't just the his Dead trilogy, or like it isn't just specifically those three films, or even Land of the Dead, or the other afterthought films. He's done it with the Crazies. I mean, he's done it with I'm trying to remember like one of the other films he had made. Just it escapes me right now. But the point is, his films always have a message to them. So with the case of Night of the Living Dead, his was kind of like trying to, I guess, add on to the outside world at the time, which was about like the civil rights movement. I mean, we were getting close to the end of it. I think after this time, I mean, what LBJ had already signed the Civil Rights Act. I think I'm trying to remember like history at this point, but yeah, around this time, I mean, as far as I know, yeah, this is around the time that Martin Luther King Jr. had been assassinated. So for Romero and the other director, again, escapes his mind is, I mean, his name is escaping me at this moment. But point is, it was very ballsy of them to pretty much hire a black actor to play the leading role. So in the again, Duane Jones is the name of this person, and he plays Ben. He essentially helps leading actress of this film, Judith. At least that's her actress name. But it's of course everyone knows the coming to get you, Barbara, right? So Barbara basically is trying to escape what she saw the death of her brother, so getting eaten by the zombie. So as she gets into this house, I mean, you have she meets Ben, and of course she's scared of him because first of all, she just saw her brother get eaten, or it looks like not eaten, but to be bashed in the head, so he's dead in front of her eyes, and the zombie is still chasing after her. At least that's what she thinks. So when she goes inside the house, what looks to be abandoned, she meets Ben, and then at this point, everybody else is trying to find each other out. The point is, in this one house, everything that sets up the plot. So Romero sets up the scene to where at least Barbara and Ben are trying to like figure out what's happening, what's going on in the world and stuff, and well, they're trying to find out if there's anybody else they can find or at least join with to see like what's going on and maybe find some answers to all these strange things happening. Well, next thing you know, they go to the basement and they actually find the owners of the house. And so one of at least the husband and wife. The husband is the one that actually shows the more, I don't know, maybe like I am untrustworthy. I don't trust any blacks or any like African Americans or any kind of person that you are. So he's basically in this film, he serves as that outside perspective of, oh, it's imagine if he's Jim Crow. He doesn't respect any black people. He doesn't respect their place in society. It's the same idea. So coming into the film, he doesn't trust Ben the whole time. I believe the husband's name is Harry. I think I'm trying to remember, but I'm just go with Harry. Harry doesn't trust Ben at all, and all he wants to do is basically stay in the basement. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He wants to stay where he's at. And Ben is trying to, and his wife, along with Barbara, that they have to go somewhere else, that they have to leave. Otherwise, they're gonna get stuck in here, and then whatever these zombies are, they're gonna come after them and just kill them all. And of course, I mean, the film keeps going on, and you'll see like the news reports on the radio telling them that yeah, this isn't just a one-off event. It's happening across the rest of the cities surrounding them and stuff. But what's very interesting, again, I'm not going to tell the whole plot. It sounds like I am. So at the very end of the film, what really caught everybody's attention, at least for me, and it's still very vivid in my mind. It's when, at this point, Ben is like the last person standing. So he seems to still stay in the house, like how everything was, and you have these, I guess, what is it, makeshift militiamen who are trying to look for any other remaining zombies. Because I mean, they were told shoot them in the head directly. You shoot the brainstem, and that's it. They're done. So what do? They're able to see Ben from inside the house, and they assume he's a zombie. However, because of the political stuff that was happening at the time, people may have read between the lines and said, "Ah, it's like a lynch." I mean, they like these that. By the way, the militiamen were played by white actors. So if the white person sees a black person, at least in that time, they're just gonna shoot, no questions asked. So, and it also ends the fact that like they put his body and the rest of the other dead bodies they recovered into a big what is it, a mosh pit, if you want to call that, like flames and everything. So I mean that's how the film ends, and it kind of leaves you wondering, like, dang, if you put into perspective of what was happening back then, and all these lynch mobs and all these, the fight for civil rights for blacks to basically be known, to be respected, it's the same idea. I mean, it's just Romero wanted to just show that through a fictional worldview or fictional lens to show us zombies and give us entertainment, but at the same time include a small message about, hey, I mean, everybody is somebody, and we all have to work together. Otherwise, if we don't, we're all just gonna die and become food for brainless zombies.
Yeah. There's this So there's this thing. I was trying to remember. So it's become the first, like, I guess you could say, zombie film in the context of they come from this virus, and it's, or really, like, I guess zombie film in general. But here's the thing I've learned back then: the term zombie actually existed long before Night of the Living Dead, but like it was never like the virus thing, where it's like somebody gets a virus and they become like this undead, flesh eating thing. The term zombie comes from the Haitian voodoo religion, where they believe you can resurrect the dead and the dead can be under your control. But if you want more information, there is a movie I think that came out in 1932, I believe, called White Zombie, that had Bela Lugosi, who played Dracula. And Wes Craven in the 90s did a movie called The Serpent in the Sorry, I had you mute for a sec because I heard my feedback. But it was called The Serpent and the Rainbow. But it's actually a really good movie if you got to check it out. I don't know if you saw that.
I actually did. One of the times over the summer, I mean, we were working and like I was able to take some time off my hands and put the film in the background as I was doing stuff. So yeah, I actually did. It was pretty good.
Yeah. I saw that movie because so this was like my first early years in film school, where I'm trying to remember why. Oh, so the project was we had to pick up. Hold on, guys. I am getting. So, guys, actually,
You got room for one more.
we're actually getting another call right now. But anyway, what I heard about the Serpent in the Rainbow was hey, look who dropped in.
Hey,
Hey, hey,
yeah.
Josh.
Hey, what's up, Josh?
Sorry, I'm sorry, I kind of overslept. So I've been working a lot this week. I did overnight.
No, you're fine, man. I completely forgot to remind you early on throughout this week about the podcast. So we were either just gonna like go without you, and then just say like, hey, I forgot to remind you about today's episode, or like just keep going whether you pop in or not. So yeah, so Sus was talking about his film Night of the Living Dead, if you've seen it.
hmm I seen parts of it, but not the full movie.
Yeah. If you just want to give a small recap, Jesus.
Yeah, again, since our subgenre is political, I just was trying to not only give us like a plot synopsis, but trying to include the message that Romero was trying to incorporate, or at least incorporated, not try, and which was like, you know how back then the film came out in the 60s, so this was towards the end of the civil rights movement, or at least like right when things were already going to go into the favor of every of every black person. And what ended up happening, I mean, they hired an actual black actor. So back then, that was unheard of. I mean, it was almost blasphemy to hire a black person to play a leading role. And even with the behind the scenes stuff, I mean, it's uh, it's all visible in the film. I mean, Romero tried to, sorry, I keep saying try. Romero put that theme in there. That I mean, no matter race, no matter what kind of gender, no matter what political affiliation you may be with, it's if nobody can work together, then we're all just gonna end up dying and become brainless matter for like zombies or what have you.
Yeah, and I was telling him this was the first like zombie film that had the term. Well, they didn't use the word zombies in the movie. They used the term ghouls because the term zombies did exist, but it was a whole different thing. Because zombies technically are not like made from a flesh eating virus or a virus that turns you into like meat eater from the undead. The term zombies was like a voodoo religion where like you can raise the dead. You can raise the dead and they would be under your control, which is what Jesus is trying to mention. Like we're like gotta not be under control of certain things. But I was telling him like there's a movie that came out in 1932 called White Zombie, which starred Bela Lugosi, who played Dracula in the original 1931 film, and then Wes Craven, who famously did A Nightmare on Elm Street, did a zombie movie called The Serpent in the Rainbow, which was it's a really nice movie. I was talking about this when just right when you were popping into that how I heard about this movie was because in one of my classes back at Northwest Vista, where you and I were used to go to, my teacher asked us to talk about a filmmaker named three movies. So obviously I wasn't gonna go as a night. I was talking about Wes Craven, who directed those movies, but I wasn't gonna do A Nightmare on Elm Street or Scream because obviously those are his two famous films. So I went with other movies, and one of them was A Serpent and the Rainbow, which you should check out. I don't know where you could check it out from. Probably like one of those pirated Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm thinking back to the bootleg days. I don't know if you
I
ever
know.
Yeah. If you guys are wondering what that means, I'm going to talk about it more in a future episode. But bootleg is basically back in the days, people still do it now, or like you just record a movie inside the theater, you literally hard copy it, and then you sell it. That's something I want to talk about in future episodes. But yeah. I like this. I like the Night of the Living Dead as we were going with, and I see like what you were talking about, especially because obviously I forgot the main character's name again.
Ben.
Ben is the only black guy in the entire movie. Yeah. Yeah, like as you were mentioning, like the lines and like one of the characters being uncomfortable around a black man, and especially like the ending, and like it's like there's always stories about whether or not it was intentional or not. Like the other story being like Ben wasn't supposed to be a black guy, but Dwayne just acted better than everybody else. That's the other story I hear about. Regardless, like you get like the social commentary, especially back in the 60s. But yeah, we're gonna take a little break right now, and yeah.
Hey, I would tell you that I think there is one political film that I would like to share, and I did see it prior to it, and it's only because I watched all the videos on that YouTube channel called what's that one? If you see it, it's that guy with James A. Janice. He makes
Dead
all the
meat.
he
On
like
Dead Meat.
Dead meat. We talk about that all the
yeah,
time.
yeah. So I saw the films and I saw the movie reviews on Dead Meat on YouTube. So I think the only political film that I want to give out, and it's because it is mostly political given the story plot, the characters, and also just the agenda behind the film. I put down The Purge. I watched all three films.
Yes.
Um, if you actually want to talk now, you can. We're already recording,
Uh,
but
All right.
or
Well, I mean, all right. I want to give out my own personal input, but also input I kind of grew up watching. Now, because I grew up Christian, I remember my pastor, like I think it was back in 2012 or 2013 when the movie was just coming out, like the first one, that he was telling us about how the world was going to end, or I wouldn't say like how America was going to go down, and just to keep it politically free. He was talking about how like certain groups were going to use this as a film to justify their means. So I didn't really take it seriously as I did, and still to I still don't take it seriously because I think some people just take things out of proportion. And then when I saw all the movies, I think it was because a lot of groups like such as Christian groups, they only see one side of the coin, but if they actually took the time to do their research and actually like watched the film and made their own evaluation after doing everything else, I think they should be the ones that have the final conclusion. Because when I watched it, it was the exact different message of what my mentors told me. And looking back now, it had a lot of things to do when it came to like free will, how people can be so depraved like for one night, and it showed that how humanity itself can be a monster quickly.
yeah, thank you for sharing, Josh. We kind of just jumped to it. So first, I forgot to say welcome back from break. But yeah, I mean, I remember like hearing about The Purge, and I know there's been many movies after that. There's been a TV show after that. I haven't seen the TV show, but I've seen so far I've only seen the first three. No, I've only seen the first two films. I've only seen maybe like one sequence of the third film. But yeah, like I think I'm not gonna say get into full details. As I said, we're not here to talk about our own politics, but I remember back in 2016, during that election, people automatically assumed a purge was gonna happen. But I mean, obviously, no, it didn't happen. But I think for me, the scariest thing about a purge is that if it could happen, some of us are screwed. Like, one, I don't know how to use a gun. Two, I've known how to use other weapons. Like, I have full control of using an axe because I like to chop wood every now and then because we have like a bunch of trees in our background that kind of like just fell down and I'm just chopping them one after the other. But what is like an axe gonna do against people with like heavy artillery? I mean, I can't just show up like Jack Torrance and not expect to like come out of that alive. But I remember I think you saw it in theaters with Kevin a long time ago.
Yeah, it was one of the first horror films I got to see in the theater, And I mean, I have my own experience, obviously, with the film, and I mean, it's a great film. I can't deny that. Like just like how what Joshua mentioned about free will. I mean, it really does hammer all that in, especially when you do multiple rewatches. You'll get to see all those little subtle hints. But yeah, I mean, what Josh said was pretty much on the nail.
And yeah, it does have a great casting. It's, Ethan Hawke. He's done. It's this one. What else? Not Insidious. Sinister. He's done Sinister.
And the
So
black phone.
The
yeah, the
Black.
Black Phone. I was gonna say that because I saw that and I can't wait for the sequel that's coming next year.
Yeah, I talked about the Black Phone briefly on the. Sorry, I thought I saw something fly. I saw the Black Phone a while back. I watched it on Prime. I didn't get to see it in theaters. I talked about it. I liked it. But I know some people that didn't like it because like there are sensitive things about that movie, like especially with child abuse and stuff like that. But I just told them get over it because it happens, unfortunately. Yeah. That's Man, there's not much I can talk. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. I saw the kill count, but it's also been a while since I've seen the kill count. Josh was mentioning, or Josh and I were mentioning earlier, about the Dead Meat show. But yeah, I think I gotta go back and watch it again. Because why not? I know like throughout there it becomes a lot more not political, but there are a lot more social commentaries within the future of the film. I would say past election year, like the first Purge and the Forever Purge, which I haven't seen, but I've seen the kill counts. And they always say never watch the kill counts as a substitute for watching the film in general because you don't get that experience. Well, some of us don't know where to find those films, so that's why I tend to use those. But yeah, that was Josh's input on the film. Thank you for sharing that one, Josh, by the way. Yeah, we're gonna take another break right now. All right, I'll just continue. All right, welcome back to It's All About the Media podcast. So now I'm gonna talk about the horror film that I picked for today's episode, and that is Jordan Peele's Nope. I talked about it briefly on the podcast a while back. That was just because I was talking about like horror films within a sequence of like things I saw in 2022, and I just briefly said like I liked the movie, but I never gave my full details about it. So first of all, just so we can get some reiterations out of the way, this technically is not my favorite Jordan Peele movie. I would say it's second. For me, Get Out will always be my favorite Jordan Peele movie. I liked Us. To me, I gave it a rewatch. I gave all three a rewatch because I knew eventually I was gonna do a Jordan Peele movie, but I gave all three a rewatch. It's too obvious to pick Get Out, so that's why I picked Nope because of one, it's newer, and two, I think I liked the social commentaries on that before are a lot more than Us. And as I said, I'm not a huge fan of like the horror films with social commentaries because, you know, sometimes I wish a film can just be a film. But to me, this one isn't like too on the nose. You really have to like dive deep into it. So what Nope is about is it stars Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer as a brother sister duo that works out their father's ranch, and the horses that are used on their father's ranch is for Hollywood stuff, like when Hollywood needs animals and stuff like that, they use their horses. Well, what they spotted on their land or in the sky is an extraterrestrial. And I tend to call this movie like Space Jaws or Sky Jaws because it is like Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which were both directed by Steven Spielberg in his early career. But what the topic of this movie is about animal cruelty, using animals as like, you know, for projects and stuff like that. I mean, I've seen those Sarah McLachlan commercials, in the arms of an angel. No, so, but I know some people have questioned whether or not Nope is an actual horror film because it shifts differently in the third act. Because the first two is like a creature feature flick, and it is pretty scary. So then after within the third act, it shifts to a type of Western film, and people were kind of turned off about that. And in the beginning, I too was also like turned off on the shift. But then when I gave it a rewatch, I love it. I love the total shift it gets from having like this like creepy like alien like horror film to like a western showdown. I like the shift because now we've mentioned this a while back on the podcast about what did we talk about? What was it? The five it's like the five, oh man. This is like high school English. I'm trying to remember. It was like man versus man, man versus the supernatural, man versus
Tech,
what?
man
It's
versus
man
technology.
versus no, it's like man versus himself or themselves. Man versus what's that called? Like you said, man versus man, man versus nature,
Man
man
versus nature.
versus what was the other one you just said?
It
Um
was I think it was man versus technology.
Okay, yes. That's
um,
that is more modern time. I mean, there's another one, man versus
but you remember what I'm talking about though, right?
yeah, yeah. Types
Yeah.
of conflict.
Exactly, that's what I was going with. So that's pretty much what it is because the main characters, their goal is to try to prove that this thing exists, like the alien exists. Well, at the time we always thought it was a flying saucer, but like spoiler alert, it's one giant alien. That's why I tend to call it Space Jaws or Sky Jaws because it's one creature. But it's a scary looking creature because like you think like it's just a flying saucer, but then you realize, oh, it's one thing. Like it's one alien. But there's a theory though, what's it called? There's a theory that the alien Jean Jacket, that's what they nicknamed it, by the way. Jean Jacket is a fallen angel because I don't know if y'all have ever seen like the AI like modify like what angels actually look like, which is if y'all have ever seen like those little AI pictures and stuff like that. Angels are supposed to look like giant eye with 1,000 wings with eyes on those wings. Like it's creepy. When they say do not be afraid, to the human eye, I mean, you could be afraid of that. But I mean, like going to the Christian side, when you're dead and you're in heaven, there is no fear. So you won't really be scared of those things, which kind of mind blowing. But to the plot, the supposedly Jean Jacket is a fallen angel. Which it could, I mean, it could be true. There's different ways on how extraterrestrials have existed. And I remember the History Channel used to have I don't even know if it airs anymore. It's called Ancient Aliens. And there was this theory of like fallen angels were actually aliens or vice versa. It sounds weird, but I mean, given what the context of this film, it could happen. But yeah, I mean, the commentary on like exposure, that's what I meant. That's what it was going on because Josh and I were talking about it. Like exposure, like Jupe, that's who the guy was, that Stephen Young played. Jupe in the movie was, he was a child star. And him and his co-workers got attacked by a monkey named Gordy? Gordy?
Yeah, Gordy the chimpanzee.
Okay, yeah. By the way, have y'all seen a chimpanzee without hair? They're jacked. I mean, like, I'm just saying. But he survived, and then one of his co-stars survived. But she got bit the F out. I mean, like, she got no more lips. It's all disfigured. But apparently that happened in real life with another actress. Like, she got attacked by a monkey and, like, left her face disfigured. So what were you gonna say?
My bad. Was it an actress or was it just a a common person? Because I mean, I remember the way I remember was um one of the states this lady owned a chimpanzee, and that chimpanzee was given like Xanax pills to help him calm down, and he actually went on a rampage, and that's how her friend had come over that same day. And that's how he basically, like, the chimpanzee went on a rampage and mauled her almost to death. I mean, she has like surgeries, I think, to this day. I don't. Maybe you're confusing it with that, or you actually heard of another story. But
I don't know. Were you gonna say something, Josh?
Yeah, I'm looking up right now while you guys are talking about it right now. So I just looked up on Google, and I know this story because I'm actually a big horror fan myself on real life events. And it says here summary: the Gordy's home incident in Jordan Peele's Nope is a standout moment in the film, featuring a violent chimpanzee rampage. The Gordy monkey story in Nope is likely inspired by the true story of Travis the chimp. And now I knew this story prior to the film, and it's because on they showed it in the show Oprah about how this this lesbian couple adopted this chimpanzee on their own personal farm, but the problem was when they adopted this chimp, they didn't really raise it like any normal chimp. They kind of spoiled it. They actually took him around town. The chimp itself was featured in many several like kid friendly films. And what they did was they over medicated. I think they like what Jesus said, they gave him like I think it was like tranquilizer pills that they like consistently gave the animal like this on a daily basis, but it never really like tamed or disciplined the animal. And so for one day, the chimp just went loose and ran amok around the residence and ended up disfiguring one this her partner, and it got so bad that she had to have reconstructive surgery. And I don't know how many surgeries just to look somewhat normal. And I saw if you go online and type down Travis the chimp story, it will show you, and it'll also show you like the aftermath of how this woman survived and what she's doing with her life.
Yeah. Actually, thank you for looking that up. Now that we got that clear out of the way, it literally shows you what the political side is into this is basically like, forcing animals to do things and stuff like that. Like you said, like he was just put on a whole bunch of medications and stuff like that. Couldn't take it anymore, and he just started like going on the rampage. There's people believe that. So I'm gonna go off topic a bit. People believe that Lassie, an old show in the 1950s, I believe, that the dogs they replaced the dogs almost every episode with the same breed. They believe that the dog might have been not have died because of like all the hard training and stuff like that. Don't quote me on this. This is just like what people believe. So if you want to know, just look it up yourself. I'm not really talking to you. I'm basically just talking to the listeners of this episode. But basically, like that's like a theory. Me personally, I would never want to use an animal in any project I do, no matter if it's trained or not, because animals are a lot more shyer than humans are, and trying to force an animal to do something like make it look ravenous, make it look monstrous, have all this other stuff. It's daunting for them. It's tiresome for them, and I mean, who knows how the owners are? Like, maybe some of the owners are like nice to the animals and will always tell you like, hey, like if it's too far, I'm pulling this like horse, this dog, or whatever off the set. And then some owners probably just abuse those animals. So, like I said, in the arms of an angel. But yeah, I mean, Nope is it's a really good movie. It's filmed really well. The scene where like all those people got sucked up by that alien. Dude, I felt claustrophobic so bad when I saw that. Like if you were never claustrophobic in your life and you see that scene, bro, Jordan Peele.
Dude, I don't even know how that was even done. Like, that's wild.
I bow down to Jordan Peele, y'all. Like that's well, I think from what I've heard is so the tube that they were going up with is sideways, and they filmed everybody sideways, and then when they edit it, they just flip the thing around. So yeah, before I end, I was telling people there was a movie that I was wondering, could it be a political horror? And I looked it up. Apparently, it can be. It's a movie called, and I'm pretty sure pretty much people know about this movie. It's called A Serbian Film. I've never seen that for a multitude of reasons. I've never seen that.
Wait, why would you? No, do not put that film here on this podcast. That's like the one of the most banned films in the whole horror genre, and you want to put that in. There's a scene that I saw that was gonna scar my life for the rest of my life.
Wait, you actually saw it?
Wow, you've seen that? Okay.
No. I mean, I've seen like some parts of it. I just saw like one clip there. I'm like, oh nope, I'm not gonna see this.
Yeah, but apparently it is considered political horror because the director wanted to quote unquote like show the fear of Serbia or whatever. I've read the stuff about it. I'm never gonna watch that movie because I know what happens in that movie. All right, they call it extreme horror. Apparently, that's the subgenre. They just want to like freak you out so much you don't want to sleep for a week. But yeah. But other than that, like I said, I'm never a huge fan of like social commentary films. I mean, I used to, and then I saw Candyman, and nothing bad about Candyman. I think Candyman was pretty well made. I'm talking about the 2021 version. I think it was pretty well made. When I saw it, I get the like what they were going with, but when I gave it a second viewing, I was kind of thrown back a bit more because of like I get what you're trying to go with, but in the end, Like, not everyone's the target audience you're going for. That's something I've always learned in film school, is that like when you make a movie, go for your target audiences. And clearly I wasn't one of them. Given the fact that, this film came out a year after the BLM riots or movement, depending on how things went down. But that's a very political film if you've ever seen that. I mean, again, I much prefer the original 1990, I believe, version. I've met Tony Todd, by the way, and he is awesome. Like, he's 6'5", very sweet guy. Like, I took a picture with him. Like I said, me, I like to give people their space because, me, I'm a person that enjoys my space, not the social network. I mean, like, my own personal space. And I don't know if people are as well. Same thing with celebrities, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to give a distance. He's like, hey, come here, man. And like, just gives me like a big hug. And we're just like smiling in front of the camera. But yeah, Tony Todd, really awesome guy. But yeah, that's today's episode. Josh, I don't know if you have a subgenre you want to tackle down, or
Is this gonna be for next week?
if we do one for next week.
Okay, well, if we're gonna do any subgenre for next week, can I actually tell you like this coming? Can I text you tomorrow? Because I have to do this quiz that's very important for me. Can I tell you on the message on your phone before after we're done?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm gonna try to get. I think my idea is just to get like 2 episodes out this week or next week and then the week after. But yeah, it's still the spooky season, even though like these are probably gonna be out in November, hopefully not December. But other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Josh, for coming today. Of course, do well on your quiz, man. I'm praying for you. Jesus, always glad to see you. Other than that, you guys have a good night, day, evening, whenever you're listening to this. I mean, I listen to my own podcast pretty much every day at any time now. Talking about having a big ego, right? But anyway, thank you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful night, day, evening, whenever you're listening to this. Signing out. You guys are awesome.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
There's